beautiful soul. Welcome to Frequency of Love. I'm Mistress Ana, certified coach, holistic therapist, and founder of King Academy and Love Association. And this is your space for honest conversations about who you are becoming, and everything in between. Let's begin. Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to Frequency of Love. Now take a deep breath with me. Inhale and exhale. Arrive here. Now, in the previous episode, we sat together with the link between trauma and intimacy. We talk about the two faces of trauma, the visible one and the quiet one that hides inside, saying that's just how I am. We talked about how to begin to see them. Now today we are going deeper, because awareness that is sacred, though it is the first work, is not enough by itself. You can understand exactly where a wound came from and still feel the wound arrive in your body the next time intimacy gets close. And you can see the pattern with a perfect clarity and still be hijacked by it the moment it activates. So today, the question we are answering is this. When the trauma actually arrives, when the chest tightens, the throat closes, when the body floods with pain that has no current cause, when something old erupts inside us, what do you actually do? Not in theory, and you know the moment I am describing. It is rarely dramatic from the outside. It might happen during a kiss, during a touch, during the second your partner says something tender, during the silence after a small disagreement, during the morning after a beautiful night together. Something inside you shifts. The body, which was open, closes. The breath, which was deep, goes shallow. A wave of feeling that does not match the moment arrives. Fear, grief, panic, rage, numbness, the urge to leave, and for a few seconds or few minutes or few days, you're not quite in the present anymore. You are something old, wearing the clothes of something new. And this is the activation. And what you do with it is the difference between repeating the trauma and finally beginning to release it. I want to say something honest. Now, if you hear this, there is a kind of healing content that tells you if you just understand your trauma, the trauma will be released. And that is not true. Understanding is the door. It is not the room. The body is not convinced by mental clarity. The body is only convinced by experience. You can name your attachment style perfectly. You can recite your childhood story with calm and precision. You can identify by name the wound that is being touched, speaking to everyone, even a stranger. And the body will still flood because the body is not asking, do I understand this? The body is asking, is something different happening this time? That is the entire question. That is what healing actually answers. And the answers is given not in words, it is given in moments. Moments where instead of being swept away by the activation, something new gets to happen. Let me name what is going on inside you when the pain arrives. In somatic experiencing, trauma is understood as a response that never got to complete. The body mobilized to fight, to run, to freeze in a moment it could not handle. And because The response was not completed. The energy of it stays in the body, waiting for decades sometimes. When you enter intimacy or a real connection, the conditions that were present then begin to be touched again. Closeness, vulnerability, the risk of being seen, the risk of being left. And the body, the loyal, intelligent, exhausted body, recognize the conditions. It does not know that this person is not that other person. It does not know that this moment is not that moment. It only knows that the conditions are similar enough that the unfinished response is finally trying to finish. This is why the pain feels physical, because it is physical. It is the body stored response, moving again, looking for somewhere to go. The work then is not to stop the wave, the work is to give it somewhere to land. There is a practice from somatic experiencing called pendulation. It is the first thing I want to teach you today. Pendulation means this: when the activation arrives, you do not stay only in the pain. You also do not run from it. You move your attention back and forth. A few seconds with the activation, a few seconds with something neutral or safe, a few seconds with the tight chest, a few seconds with the feet on the floor, for example, a few seconds with the rising panic, a few seconds with the cool air on your skin. You are not trying to make the activation go away. You are teaching your nervous system that it can touch the activation without being consumed by it. The body releases trauma in waves. Pendulation is what allows the waves to move without drowning you. This single practice has changed more lives than you can imagine. Most of the activations we feel in adult lives are stored, incomplete responses. The body wanted to push, the body wanted to run, the body wanted to cry, scream, shake. And the original moment, it was not safe to do any of these things. So the body learned to suppress. Healing requires unlearning that suppression. In the moment of activation, the body is asking you to let it move. This can look like many things: shaking out your arms or your legs, rolling your shoulders, stretching your spine, pushing against the wall with your hands and feeling the resistance, walking, even just around the room, until the wave begins to settle. Also, breathing is very good. It can also look like sound, humming, sighing, all the way out on purpose, which actually activates the vagus nerve and calms the body biologically. Making the sound your body wants to make, even if it's awkward, even if it's not pretty, it's helpful. And it can look like tears, real tears. You can cry all the way through. Most of us interrupt our crying too early. The moment it feels like it might get out of control, we shut it down. Healing asks the opposite. Let the tears finish. Let the sound finish. Let the movement finish. The body is not malfunctioning, it is releasing. And there is something else that has to happen when the activation is moving. The part of you that is in pain needs to be met. Not analyzed, not explained, just met. The pain that activates almost always belongs to a younger part of you. A part that learned very early that closeness was dangerous, or the love was conditional, or the softness would not be held. The part is what is screaming in the activation. And what it has been waiting for, sometimes for decades, is for the adult version of you to finally turn towards it and say, I see you. I know you are afraid. You are not alone in this moment. I am here. I love you. And this is not a metaphor. You can put your hands on your chest right now and speak to that part of you that is hurting, that is in pain, as you were speaking to a small child who had been waiting for you to arrive. Because in a very real sense, that is actually what you are doing. The adult coming to the child within you is one of the most powerful corrective experiences a human being can have. And I want to say something that will be difficult to hear, but is true. This work was never meant to be done alone. The nervous system regulates through another nervous system. This is why babies cannot calm themselves. This is why a frightened child reaches for a parent. This is why our bodies relax in the presence of a calm, grounded other person. You do not lose this need when you become an adult. You only become better at hiding it. Now also, when trauma activates, a fast road to settle it down is being in the presence of someone whose nervous system is steady. This can be a trauma-informed therapist or a trusted partner who has learned to stay grounded when you are not, a held community space. Now, if you are someone who has done all the inner work and still finds yourself getting hijacked in intimate moments, this is often the missing piece. You do not need more understanding. You need a held experience, repeated, until your body finally believes it. Let me give you something to practice. The next time you feel an activation begin, the chest tightening, the breath shortening, or a wave of something old arriving, try this. First, name it quietly out loud or in your mind. This is an activation. This is my body remembering. I am safe right now. Then place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. Feel the weight of your own hands. This is touch. This is the most basic form of co-regulation. You are holding yourself. Now take a long, slow exhale, longer than the inhale. This single psychological move begins to switch your nervous system out of activation. So inhale and slow exhale. Slow and completely a long, long, long exhale. And then begin pendulating. For a second, let your attention rest on the activation. Notice where it lives, the chest, the throat, the belly, the face. Then move your attention to something neutral. Your feet, the texture on the chair, the light in the room, the sound of your own breath. Move back, move away. You are teaching your nervous system with this small practice that you can be near the activation without being annihilating by it. And as you do this, even for 60 seconds or 2 minutes, something will begin to settle. Maybe a tear arrives, let it come. Maybe you want to shake out your hands or walk a few steps, do it. And as the wave begins to pass, turn inward one more time and say, the part of you that was activated, thank you for showing me. I will not abandon you, I am here. This practice does not cure trauma. It does something better. It begins every time you use it to teach your body that the present moment is different from the past. And I want to be honest with you about something. For the activations that are mild, the small braces, the brief shutdowns, the moments you can move through with practice, the work I have described in this episode is real and is enough. Now for the trauma that is deep, that floods you regularly, that interrupts your ability to function completely, self-work is not enough. And reaching for a professional support is not a failure, it's a wisdom. Look for trauma-informed practitioners, somatic experiencing therapists, EMDR therapists, somatic psychiatrists, coaches and guides with real training in working with the body, not only the mind. And you do not need to do this alone. You were never meant to. If you're someone who has spent years working to understand your trauma and still feels it arrives in your body in the moments you most want to be present, I want you to know that you are not failing. You are simply meeting the part of healing that the mind alone cannot do. The body has its own language, and the body learns through experience, not through explanation. Every time you turn towards an activation instead of away, every time you let the body move or take a deep breath or let the tears to finish, the adult meets the child within. You are wiring a new story into your nervous system, slowly, gently through the body. And at Love Association and King Academy, we hold space for this type of work. I will leave the link in the notes and take a deep breath with me now. Inhale and exhale. And place one hand somewhere in your body with kindness. You're doing brave, sacred work. Thank you for being here with me. This is Frequency of Love. And I will meet you again in the next soul conversation.